I want to win now. Those were the surprising words directly from Steve Bisciotti when talking about these Baltimore Ravens. He said he doesn't want to wait another 12 years for a Super Bowl. But one of the reasons why that was so shocking to a lot of Baltimore Ravens fans is because it's sort of opposite from the words that he uttered years ago when speaking about the Baltimore Ravens that rubbed a lot of fans the wrong way. Team Keep It Clean. Let's talk about everything that Steve Bisciotti had to say about these Baltimore Ravens, about Lamar Jackson, and about their window right here, right now. Before we do, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn your notifications on so you don't miss a single thing going on with our favorite football team. And also leave a like on the video because I not only like y'all, I love y'all, and I appreciate y'all so much for spending time with us every single day. Now, with Steve Bisciotti, him saying, I want to win now. He also talked about how the window, he said, we got a window with Lamar Jackson. I know what we can do. I know that we work to put ourselves in a position to win. We all get credit for that. That's all you can do. I hate it. He said he hates it. That every year you just have to start back over again. And that is very, very frustrating for us as fans, but for them as owners too, still. He said, but you know what? This is not for the meek. Oh, it certainly ain't. It certainly ain't. But with those words that Steve Bisciotti said talking about his football team, because, hey, he's the owner of the Baltimore Ravens, it brought back some memories from a couple of years ago when Steve Bisciotti talked about how he is cool. He was fine with the Baltimore Ravens just being a competitive team, them sort of just being relevant. And a lot of Ravens fans, that rubbed a lot of them the wrong way because they were like, hold up. He's the owner of these Ravens. All he cares about is profit and just being relevant, but not winning Super Bowls. What's that about? And that sort of showed us that we're living in two different worlds. That he's living in the world of an owner and we're living in a world as fans, and we both looked at stuff differently because as an owner, you're thinking, all right, I want to make money. I want to make profit. I want to make sure that I'm getting bread for this investment that I made in this team. But us as fans, we like, hey, we want our team to win a Super Bowl. We want our team to win a Super Bowl every single year. So this, what he's saying now, what Steve Bisciotti is saying now, and I actually think actions have been speaking louder than his words, but he's showing that these two worlds, they can coexist together. You can be an owner that can make money off of your team. You can profit off of your franchise, which is the Baltimore Ravens, which you certainly do. But then you can also put a team together for fans that can really, truly compete for a Super Bowl. And I think they have certainly been doing that, especially over these past couple of years. But for different reasons, they have certainly been coming up short. Now, Bisciotti also said, I don't look at Lamar singularly. I want it for Ronnie Stanley. I want it for Marlon Humphrey. It just doesn't stop with Lamar. I want it for Eric DeCosta as well. So obviously, we know so much gets highlighted with Lamar Jackson, especially when it comes to playoffs. But, I mean, of course it does because he's the starting quarterback of this football team. And for a lot of different reasons, with a lot of different scenarios, it hasn't been the prettiest when it comes to the playoffs for Lamar Jackson. You have your games like against the Houston Texans, against the Pittsburgh Steelers, even against the Tennessee Titans the second time. But the first time, I mean, it was looking good, but everybody wanted to drop the ball. But then you got your games like against the Kansas City Chiefs, against the Buffalo Bills, and then some other ones too, where against the Chargers, where it was not pretty. Now, there's a lot of different reasons for that, but at the beginning and the end of the day, the Baltimore Ravens just simply, they did not perform well in those situations. Lamar Jackson, for a lot of those different games, he did not perform well in some of those situations. Now, context is super, super important, and we've gone over all of that context throughout the years. But the Ravens have lost. They've lost those games to several different reasons, and it's very, very frustrating for us as fans. But Steve Bisciotti, again, he let it be known that it's frustrating for him as an owner too, and that's something that we appreciated hearing from him. That's something that we loved hearing from him. Now, I know also with Steve Bisciotti saying that he wants to win right here, right now, with the recent actions of the Baltimore Ravens, some Ravens fans may feel like that may not be true based off of what he did a couple of days ago, and that was signing John Harbaugh to a contract extension. Some Ravens fans may feel like, oh, they brought back John Harbaugh. Oh, they cool with just being in the playoffs but not getting over that hump. Now, me, I don't believe that's the case. Now, while y'all know my plan that I would have had for John Harbaugh would have been a lot different, and I actually think Steve Bisciotti's words would have hit even more if he would have went with the plan that I had, because like I told y'all, I would have had John Harbaugh play out this final year of his deal and see how things went. So if that happened, and could you imagine what the vibe would have been if John Harbaugh's on the last year of his contract, and then Steve Bisciotti, well, they probably wouldn't have even had this little sit-down interview if John Harbaugh was on the last year, but could you imagine if that was the case, and Steve Bisciotti sits down and says, I want to win now. I don't want to wait another 12 years. It would have had a lot of us Ravens fans thinking like, oh my God, Harbaugh must be on the hot seat. Oh, that pressure's on Harbaugh now. Ooh, something good about to happen. Either way. But since he got the contract extension, that's not even a thought. But I'm really looking forward to seeing how the Baltimore Ravens run this show this year. I think with Steve Bisciotti coming out and saying this, I think this is a really, really good thing. Reason I say that is because we don't really hear from Steve Bisciotti very often. We don't really get much from him. They get a little something here and there, but not very often. So what this is telling me, and let me know if y'all agree or not, what this is telling me is that John Harbaugh and Eric DeCosta obviously are not on the hot seat, but with Steve Bisciotti coming out and saying this, it lets me know, like, it's giving them a little tap on the shoulder, like, hey, like, hello, tighten this thing up, like, get this thing right, because I'm trying to win. I'm trying to win. I do everything in my power to give you the money, give you the bread, and give you the power and responsibility to build a championship caliber team, and y'all got to get it together. Now, I ain't in the mood or I ain't in the business of firing this person and firing that person, as we know, because just signed a 3-year contract extension. But at the same time, like, hey, work with me, because I'm working with y'all and I'm trying to get this thing done. So I think this is really good news for the Baltimore Ravens with Steve Bisciotti coming out and saying that, because while the contract extension, it alleviates a lot of pressure off of John Harbaugh, I feel like Steve Bisciotti coming out and saying this actually puts some pressure on Harbaugh and the Baltimore Ravens. So now we reach my favorite part of these videos where we get to feature your questions. You already know how to take part in it. I appreciate all y'all for supporting the channel. Let's get into it. First question came from my guy, Steph'on. He said, what's good, brother? Hey, what's happening, my friend? He said, I pray that you and the fam are basking in that beautiful Florida sun. I appreciate you. He said, I got a few suggestions. After watching a lot of film lately on draft prospects. Okay, here we go. He said, I know I was campaigning hard for us to go get Micah Parsons, but yeah, that would have been nice. That would be really nice. It's still technically possible, because apparently the Cowboys, they offered him a deal with the Baltimore. I'm tripping. Sorry, I was thinking Baltimore Ravens, but I'm speaking and thinking at the same time. I can't do both. But the Cowboys offered Micah Parsons a deal, but Jerry Jones didn't offer him a deal through his agent. So he said he ain't worried about talking to the agent. That rubbed Micah Parsons the wrong way, so they could be on bad terms. Hey, anyway, but it probably ain't gonna happen. Anyway, he said, after seeing that jaw-dropping film on James Pierce from Tennessee, I'm changing my angle just a bit. Dude ran a 40 time of 4.47. He has glimpses of the Denver version of Von Miller and Micah Parsons combined. He's an athletic savage. Now, that's some high praise right there. You said Denver Von Miller and Micah Parsons combined. Woo, that's some high praise right there. But let's keep going. He said, if he's there, purple and black are definitely his colors. And for the second round, all right, so let's start with that. I still do think Ravens going interior defensive lineman, because I know they love hitting swerves on people. But if they wanted to take James Pierce, okay, no problem. No problem, because the future of your pass rush, like y'all know, we've talked about it ad nauseum. It's a lot of question marks there. Continuing, he said, and for the second round, Andrew Makuba from Texas. He's a big hitting, big playmaker. He transferred from Clemson, where him, Nate, and Trent had that defense set on goon mode. Third and fourth rounds. Okay. Oh, you going through the whole draft. Okay. Here we go. And I appreciate you breaking down every single person that you're talking about. He said, in the third and fourth rounds, I feel old linemen should be our grab. There's always very good linemen there because teams pay so much attention to other positions. I agree. I agree. And that's what we've said too, especially at the guard position. I feel like you could get a starter. You can get depth guys in later rounds. In the third or fourth round is not necessarily later rounds, but you can still get starting quality players then. Anyway, he said, I like Milan, the OT from West Virginia. He's skilled and nasty. And Frazier, the offensive guard from LSU. He's an animal too. Just a little something to think about. Oh, before I go, cut Tucker and draft a kicker, please. We're going to see. Still, Roger Goodell said it ain't no updates. Ain't nothing happening yet. We're still investigating, so we got to wait it out. He said Fitzgerald from FSU is a monster. Let's go. Blessings to you and the fam, my guy. And hashtag Blackbird Bully Ball. Appreciate you, Steph'on, as always. Next question came from my guy, Bubba. He said, my guy Ingraven. My guy, Bubba. He said, checking in from Toronto. Oh, shout out to Canada, man. He said, I'm the biggest Ravens fan we have up here. I started playing tackle football the same year the Ravens won the Super Bowl in 2001, and I have been a fan since. I fell in love with the defense, and we wore purple jerseys, too. Okay, that worked out. So the Ravens helped you fall in love with the game, and you've been rocking with them ever since then. I love that. He said, my question is, why can't we find a way to keep both Andrews and Likely? Now, if you're talking about this year, they absolutely can, for sure. No problem with that. But if you're talking about next year, they technically could. Technically, they can if they were to come up with contract extensions for both. But would they be willing to allocate that money into the tight end position? Isaiah Likely is going to be more expensive than Mark Andrews because Isaiah Likely is younger. Mark Andrews would be on his third contract, I believe, next year. So it won't be cheap necessarily, but it'll be less than Isaiah Likely's because Isaiah Likely will be on his second contract. So that second one, that's when you hit it big. So especially for a player like Isaiah Likely coming up, and Mark Andrews is not on no downward spiral or anything like that. But he's and when you say he's older, it ain't like he's old because he can still play, he can still ball. Mark Andrews is still one of them guys. But as far as them allocating all that money into two tight ends, I don't think that they would do it. But anyway, he said, I want to see them on the field at the same time. Likely should be playing some snaps at receiver. He has done that. And offense with Andrews, Likely, Flowers, Bate, and Henry on the field at the same time with Lamar leading them would be unstoppable. That was last year. That was actually the past 2 years. Not with Henry too, but the rest of them minus Henry was 2 years ago. But last year, we had exactly what you asked for. He said, we have everyone we need in the building. Okay, so it sounds like you're talking about right here, right now, that you don't want to let either one of the tight ends go. Hey, I would love that too. I would not be opposed to the Baltimore Ravens keeping Mark Andrews. I know how a lot of people feel about that. Because y'all know me, I want to keep everybody. But I know if they do keep Mark Andrews, again, he's not taking a back seat to Isaiah Likely. So if Mark Andrews is with the Ravens, don't expect him to take a back seat. Isaiah Likely still going to get his. Mark Andrews still going to get his. But Mark Andrews still going to be the number one tight end for the Ravens. But I'm still not 100% convinced that Mark Andrews is going to be with the Ravens, especially when John Harbaugh said, there's no guarantees, but we expect Mark Andrews to be a Raven this year. I said, if you starting something off with there's no guarantees, then yeah, we need to drop our expectations. He said, thank you for giving us Ravens fans so much content to look forward to. And like the Steelers in the first round of the playoffs, I'm out. Hey, appreciate that, Bubba. Thank you, man. Next question came from my guy, Will T. He said, what's going on, Ingraven? What's up, Will? He said, I haven't asked a question since the day of the Chiefs game, but not the point. Oh, my goodness. So week 1 of the regular season, did that game hurt your heart that bad? Or are you talking about the AFC Championship from the year? Either way, I still love you, Will. He said, I got some players to put you on for the draft. Okay, I appreciate when y'all do this. I thank y'all for doing this because we just have not had the time to really dig in like that. We watch a couple players here and there, but to really dig in like this is why I appreciate y'all so much, man. He said, first, Louisville defensive end Ashton Galat is 6'3", 276 pounds, and ran a 4.6 at his pro day. Ooh, that's a freak. A DN that big and that fast. He said that's how the Bengals could be looking at him because they need defense bad, and he's also from Ohio, especially with all that they got going on right now with Trey Hendrickson. Because that situation is getting ugly, but it's pretty for us on our side, but ugly for him on their side. Because Trey Hendrickson went on a Pat McAfee show and said he don't like how the Bengals been doing business. Oh, but we love that as Ravens fans. Anyway, he said, but I think he'd be a great addition to our pass rusher. Second, Louisville corner. You just Louisville all day, every day. Anyway, he said Louisville corner Quincy Riley is 5'11", might be too short, 194 pounds, and ran a 4.48 at the combine. Yes, okay. See, he said it now. He said, yes, I'm a biased Louisville fan, but as a Ravens fan, I believe these could be great pickups. So there you go. He confirmed it. I mean, we already knew. He said Louisville for the first guy. Like, okay, cool. But then he said Louisville for the second. I was, oh yeah, okay. You want your boys to come on over like Lamar did. But anyway, he said, what are your thoughts on these players if you haven't seen or heard of them? Love what you're doing. God bless you and your family. Shout out to Will T from the Ville. Appreciate that. As far as Ashton Gallat, based off of what you were saying, sound like he got good size and a good decent speed for you know what? I feel like I'm saying decent speed. This is a DN. This is a DN, and everybody not gonna be a Dafe away. A Dafe away is a crazy DN because he ran like a 4.4. So he was just a freaking. He's like 6'5", 6'6". He's a giant and he's crazy fast too, but he was very, very raw. My thing with Ashton Gallat, I didn't hear you talk about his production. So you talked about his size, which is cool, but how was his production? Is he somebody that's ready to go like boom right away? Hey, throw him on the field, let's get it. Or is he somebody where it's going to be like, all right, Ravens, you got to work with him. You got to be patient for production. You got to be, and you got to be patient with any draft pick. But at the same time, if you're going to be drafting somebody high, then they need to be ready to go like immediately. So is he that? If so, oh, great. But if not, then I press the pause button. Next question came from my guy Jarvo. He said, a few more weeks in draft night. My question for you is, with the upcoming re-sign of Lamar Jackson, how does it affect future signings with our players and free agents? Well, this go around, it could show like, hey, we doing right by Lamar Jackson, because last go around, I'm glad we made it past that. But this would also open up money for other people, like even our own guys, Super Duper Kyle, Linda Flender, both of them. Like, this could open up stuff for them, and then we still waiting on Derrick Henry too. We're still waiting on that. So this could open things up, but this would keep your guy for even more years to come. And that's the most important thing. But everything else is super, super important as well. He said, do you see them keeping all three tight ends? No. Right now, no. I don't. I wouldn't mind if they did. But right now, I still can't. I won't be able to believe it until like a week after the draft. A week after the draft, after that's done. And then a week after, and then Eric DeCosta, Harbaugh come out and say something. Then I'll be like, all right, we keeping Mark Andrews. Or Isaiah, like anything could happen. But until then, I can't be convinced that they're going to keep all three of them right now. And he said, did you see EDC's untold stories about how he scouts for talent? I think somebody said that was an April Fool's joke. I'm not 100% sure or not, but I didn't watch the whole thing. He said, we can cancel getting Parsons as well because he's trying to be the highest paid non-QB. I mean, hey, why wouldn't he be? And remember, you want somebody like that? You're going to have to pay them. So what if the Ravens draft somebody like that? I mean, they already did at the safety position, somebody who's like that, and they going to pay him. He ain't going nowhere. So you get talent, you got to pay for talent eventually. Anyway, he said we can cancel that because he's trying to be the highest paid non-QB. So I'd rather us draft a pass rusher who can be an immediate impact. I love how you said that because that last part is extremely important, an immediate impact right away.